How to Motivate a Loved One to Change, Part 2. In Part 1, we covered the first 4 steps. Now we cover Step 5, which is Ask Key Questions. But first, a couple of reminders. Be sure to get out of your well-meaning but ineffective role as coach, therapist, mentor, makeover artist, dietitian, financial advisor, doctor, self-appointed spouse improvement committee, or fix-it person. And remember, if your loved one senses disapproval, or if they feel that you've got an agenda to change them, or if they get any pressure from you, they'll likely clam up. And one more thought, regardless of how they answer these questions, stay non-judgmental, curious, and loving. This means no eye-rolling, shaming, emotional withdrawal, lecturing, or arguing. It's their life after all. And never say, why did you do that? Okay, here's question 1. I'm curious, on a scale of 0 to 10, how motivated are you to start some neglected activity or stop some risky or unhealthy behavior? If their answer is 0, totally unmotivated, you've got several options. 1, revert to nagging, threatening mode, which, as you know, external control is not advised. Back off and ask again later. Back off and let them continue to live their life, the old live and let live routine. Get help learning how to cope through Al-Anon, NAMI, therapy, training in meditation and yoga, fostering spiritual resources via religion and church. And there's resources for all these organizations online. Or number 5, leave them if their bad choices, bad habits, or bad attitudes are deal breakers for you. If their answer is 1 or above, this is good. If they say 1 or 2, do not ask. Why not higher? 1 or 2 means there's a tiny part of them that would like to change, and that's the part we want to nurture. If the answer is 1 or above, then ask the next question casually with no agenda in mind other than to understand them. 2, why not 0? However they answer question 2, stay calm, continue to show genuine interest in their answer, and then ask the next question, 3, what would it take to bump that number up a point? Your tone of voice and demeanor are very important. If you come across as too hopeful, eager, or you think that they've now made a promise to change, things will unravel. Question 4, what do you think would be some of the benefits of making this change? If they're not able to think of anything, we'll come back to this question later. I know that you know a million benefits that will happen when your loved one makes a positive change, but you're not the ambivalent one. Resist the temptation to answer this question for them. We're trying to tap into your loved one's inner motivation. The more they come up with positive benefits on their own, the more likely they'll be to buy into making personal changes. A quick side note, you may be tempted to list for them all the negative outcomes that will happen if they don't change. This would be a grave mistake. The mind has an amazing capacity to discount threats from people like the Surgeon General, or the Pope, family doctors, attorneys, and even you. So if you're going to talk about the future, talk about positive, not negative outcomes. Now that your loved one is contemplating making a change, motivate them further with the following questions. Number 5, what are the advantages of not making changes? This question helps you and your loved one understand their fears, reluctance, and lack of motivation for making changes. The next question helps loved ones not feel defensive. If you've been an empathic listener and a safe person to talk to, your loved one will think long and hard about the wisdom of continuing their unhealthy choices. Your loved one is now coming up with his or her own reasons why making a change would be hard. 6, what are the disadvantages of continuing what you're doing? Number 7, what are the disadvantages of making changes? This disarms the reluctant to change part of your loved one's brain. Now your loved one comes up with their own reasons why making a change will be good. Number 8, what are the advantages of making changes? Now you haven't suggested anything, you've just merely made it safe for him or her to open up. As your loved one realizes on their own the benefit of positive changes, offer to help with these 2 questions. On a scale of 0 to 10, how successful do you think you'll be making this change? It's one thing to plan on making a change, it's another to be optimistic that they will succeed. Unless their answer is a 10, highly optimistic, ask this question. What would it take to bump up that answer 1 point? And how can I help? The purpose of question 10, it takes you out of giving unsolicited advice mode and into someone whose input has been requested. Every time you catch your loved one taking the effort or making positive progress toward their goal, be encouraging and positive. Do not say, it's about time, or didn't I tell you how much better you'd feel if you took my advice? Or I appreciate the effort, but we should work harder at it. These comments kill motivation. For a free transcript of how to motivate a loved one to change parts 1 and 2 and a list of these 10 questions, click the link below. For further resources on marriage and relationships, visit our website and click on the free papers button. There are also low-cost booklets for sale as well, and we appreciate likes, shares, and subscribers. Thank you. See you next time.